Hello, everyone. A massive thank you for joining me today at Breakpoint 2025 by BrowserStack. It's a pleasure to be amid such brilliant forward thinking minds. Let's start with a little imagination exercise. Close your eyes for a second, not literally, but in your mind. Picture a world where testing isn't just about clicking buttons, running scripts, or chasing logs at midnight. Imagine a world where AI anticipates failures before they even happen, where test cases don't just run themselves, they write themselves, and where automation isn't just fast, it's wise, smart enough to know when to step in and when to step back. Now, rewind a few years. When I first dipped my toes into the world of test automation, I thought I had it all figured out. This is it. No more testing flows manually, just elegant scripts doing my job while I sip my coffee. But oh boy, reality came knocking. Test failures at 3 a.m., flaky scripts breaking for no apparent reason, and the endless chase of maintaining automation frameworks. And in those chaotic moments, one truth stood tall. Automation is only as good as the intelligence behind it. And that's why we are here today to embark on a journey from the familiar world of traditional automation to a bold AI driven future where innovation amplifies human insight. And mind you, not to replace us, but to elevate us. So let's experiment, let's question everything we know, and let's push the boundaries that were once thought impossible. My dear visionaries, tech disruptors, and curious minds, welcome to a session designed to spark curiosity, challenge the norms, and unlock the magic of AI driven DevTestOps. I'll be your guide for this exciting chapter we call AI driven DevTestOps, unlocking 10x smarter testing with generative AI in 2025. Before we deep dive, a quick hello from my side. I'm Siddhant Wadhwani, and I'm thrilled to be with all of you today. By profession, I serve as an engineering manager SDET at Newfold Digital, leading a fantastic global team of 35 estates across geographies. By passion, I'm a traveler, sports fanatic, and a mentor who loves sparking meaningful conversations through blogs, podcasts, and tech talks just like this one. In my decade long journey in software testing, DevOps, and engineering leadership, I've had the honor to speak at over 100 global tech conferences, serve as a BrowserStack champion and the Mumbai chapter lead, while also actively contributing to WordPress as an open source advocate. Along the way, I picked up a few recognitions and certifications like MCPS, MCST, MCSA, ISTQB, Veracode, and several others, and was humbled to be named a LinkedIn Blue Top Voice. But honestly, what drives me is what we are all here for today, exploring how technology can transform testing from a reactive core to a proactive AI powered superpower. So, everything I'm about to share with you today isn't theory, it's battle tested, real world wisdom. All right, so here's the game plan. Think of this session as a journey where every stop offers a knowledge bomb or a new perspective. First, we talk about DevTestOps, the modern path to agility. We'll start by exploring how DevTestOps isn't just a buzzword, but a necessary evolution. We'll decode how it rewrites the rules of software development, testing, and delivery, bringing speed, alignment, and real time feedback loops into play. Next, we debunk certain myths and misconceptions around DevTestOps, where it's time to bust some of those myths from DevOps, which eliminates testers, to automation, which solves everything. Next, we look at certain best practices and a real world example. Here, I'll share more of battle tested strategies and lessons from real world projects. Next, we deep dive into some of the exciting part, which is revolutionizing testing with generative AI. And that's exactly where things get really exciting. We'll put the curtain back on how generative AI is revolutionizing testing from intelligent test generation to predictive failure analysis to self healing and so on. So get ready for a sneak peek into the tools and techniques that will shape your test strategies in 2025 and beyond. And lastly, Let's look at what the future holds. What's next for DevTestOps? How will AI, autonomous agents, and possibly quantum computing impact our world of testing? Let's imagine the impossible together. So let me ask you why testing matters in DevOps. Let's lay the foundation. Testing isn't a checkbox at the end. It's the lifeline of modern DevOps. With continuous integration and continuous delivery, every code commit is an opportunity to improve or break everything. Automation is that glue that holds this together, reducing the manual work, minimizing the errors, and keeping that CI/CD pipeline flowing smoothly. But we are not stopping at automation. AI is stepping in. Self-healing test, predictive failure analysis, and intelligent test case generation. And testing isn't about functionality anymore. We are talking about security, performance, usability, all baked into the pipeline. Real-time feedback, AI-powered insights, continuous validation. This is the DevOps testing engine we are building for 2025. Now, where does testing actually fit in this high-speed DevOps assembly line? That's where we enter the concept of DevTestOps, which is not a new tool. It's not a certification, but rather it's a culture. Back in 2018, the DevTestOps manifesto was coined with one mission: make testers and testing integral parts of the DevOps quality culture, not afterthoughts. So imagine this: developers, testers, and operation folks all working together, not in silos, but shoulder to shoulder. Continuous feedback, shared ownership, zero blame game. And here's the killer stat: the earlier you are able to catch a bug, the cheaper and easier it is to fix it, which is why we embrace shift left testing. And mind you, testing isn't a phase, it's a mindset, right from requirements gathering to production releases. Talking about the DevTestOps manifesto, these are the 5 golden rules of the DevTestOps world: continuous testing over testing at the end, embracing all testing activities over just automated functional testing, testing what gives value over testing everything, testing across teams or over siloed QA departments, and lastly, product coverage over code coverage. Now, I won't explain each of them because I know you all are smart folks. So take a few seconds to remember these 5 key manifesto goals. But at the same time, let's talk about how we can strengthen and implement the DevTestOps strategy in a better way. So if you focus on the highlighted golden words, you'll realize bug-free policies, a successful CI/CD pipeline, more quality control gates, using test-first approaches, making sure that we are automation first and have scripts that are maintained from time to time. And that is something that would assure stakeholders that testing is thorough and adequate. So now that we have learned a lot about DevTestOps, let's look at some myths and misconceptions. Imagine it's 2 a.m. You and your dev team are burning the midnight oil to push a hotfix release. Final checks are done. Everyone's exhausted. And just as you're about to hit deploy, QA walks in with a block a bug report. Sounds familiar? This is the chaos we are trying to fix with DevTestOps: a seamless, collaborative, intelligent release pipeline. But wait, DevTestOps comes with its own myths. Myth number one, as you see, continuous testing means 100% automation. Wrong. Full automation is a fantasy. Exploratory test, usability evaluations, complex integrations. These still need human brains. The trick is smart automation, risk-based prioritization, and continuous feedback. Myth number two, only startups can do DevTestOps. That's also false. Who benefits the most from faster releases with early bug detection? Big players like Netflix, Amazon, Google, and they're using AI-driven testing, containerization, and service virtualization to run at scale. Last but not the least, the cost benefit analysis, which means Some people feel DevTestOps is too expensive. Let's talk money. Yes, there's investment, but here's the reality. An IBM study found fixing a bug in production costs 30 times more than catching it in development. And DevTestOps helps you just do that, catching issues early, saving time, money, and reputation. So let me leave you with that big question. Are you doing automation or truly testing continuously? Rather, is DevTestOps just a buzzword or a transformational phase or a force that's driving your organization? Remember, the future of software testing isn't coming, it's already here. And it's intelligent, collaborative, and AI powered. So, if we look at certain best practices all around testing, security, and automation, it's all about automating as much of the testing process as possible, writing test cases that cover all aspects of the software just to make sure that there are no gaps and we have thorough coverage. Incorporating testing early in the software development process. When we talk of security, making sure that we are writing secure code, testing for vulnerabilities, managing the infrastructure wisely and securely, and responding to security incidents as fast as possible. In terms of automation, automate as much of the software delivery process, use tools that are easy to use and integrate with, and shift right where you're monitoring and analyzing the performance of your software and the infrastructure. Talking about the myths and misconceptions, let's take a real time dev desktop success story. I'm sure all of you have heard of Netflix. If there's one company that has absolutely nailed dev desktops, it's Netflix. Back in the day, Netflix worked like most traditional setups. Developers wrote the code, and operation teams were responsible for deploying and maintaining it. The problem? Silos, bottlenecks, and delays. Sounds familiar, right? Then came their transformational shift to what they call you build it, you run it, or operate what you build. In this model, developers didn't just write code, they owned it from development to deployment, monitoring in production. And to support this, they built a powerful ecosystem of CI/CD pipelines, followed the infrastructure as a code, and had proper automation frameworks with detailed quality gates in place. So, what can we learn from Netflix DevTestOps journey? Empower developers with both freedom and responsibility. Focus on innovation velocity, not just uptime. Replace bureaucracy with enablement. Break those internal walls and silos between dev, test, and ops. And last but not the least, make decisions based on data and customer experience. And the most important key takeaway, DevOps isn't a tool, a process, or a buzzword, it's a culture. DevTestOps isn't about perfection, it's about progress. Now let's come to the most exciting part of our talk, the Tesla analogy. AI powered test automation needs human oversight. Imagine you're cruising down the highway in a Tesla, letting the car handle most of the driving with its advanced self driving capabilities. You sit back, feeling confident in its AI powered system, which detects lanes, obstacles, and even predicts failures, potential hazards, even before they are occurring. It feels almost like magic until suddenly the unexpected happens. A new roadblock appears. Maybe there's overnight construction work that wasn't there a few hours ago. Your Tesla, despite all its sensors and AI powered processing, wasn't pre trained for this specific scenario. It might slam on the brakes abruptly, struggle to reroute efficiently, or in some cases, require you to take over completely. That's when you realize this is not full autopilot. It's just an advanced cruise control system. And that's exactly where we stand today with AI powered test automation. Generative AI, LLMs, and intelligent automation frameworks like Robot Framework, Selenium, or Copilot powered test generation are revolutionizing the way we test software. They can self-heal test cases, auto-generate scripts, predict failures, and optimize test execution, just like the Tesla system optimizes your driving experience. But just like a Tesla needs human oversight, AI in test automation cannot operate in a vacuum. Let's take a quick look at how we got here. We started with manual testing, clicking through user interfaces, hoping for the best. Then came simple scripts, then frameworks like robot framework, etc. made our lives easier. Do you remember when writing one automated test felt like a career highlight? Now we have built CI/CD pipelines that feel like they have a personality. Automation has evolved, and so must we. That's exactly where I bring in the topic of AI-driven DevTestOps getting smarter by the day. The problem: traditional testing bottlenecks. Let me explain this in the form of a story. Robin, a lead estate, faces challenges in testing, slow test creation, flaky automation scripts, and late stage bug discoveries. The traditional approach, while effective, struggles to keep up with the rapid pace of development and releases. Talking about the AI revolution, where it's smarter and faster testing, we focus on shift left and shift right. Shift left, when we integrate with generative AI, we have cases like AI generated test cases, where AI analyzes the code and requirements to automatically generate comprehensive test scenarios early on, ensuring test coverage right from the start. Self healing. As the application evolves, AI adapts the automation scripts, reducing maintenance and ensuring tests remain relevant with minimal human intervention. Last but not the least, intelligent code reviews. AI scans the code for quality gaps, suggests areas that need more rigorous testing or missing edge cases, which helps the testers and developers collaborate more effectively. On the other hand, when we focus on shift right, that's more of proactive quality monitoring with AI. So predictive defect detection, where you analyze the logs, the metrics, and historical data, and AI can predict potential failures even before they can impact production, allowing for early intervention. AI driven resilience. Instead of waiting for production issues, AI can simulate real world stress test, pushing your system to its limits and identifying weaknesses proactively. Lastly, optimized CI/CD pipelines. AI enhances pipeline efficiency by prioritizing tests based on risk and real-time code changes, ensuring faster feedback without compromising on the quality. Now, what is the impact of AI-driven efficiency in DevTestOps? Of course, faster test case creation, reduced flaky test, proactive defect detection. These are just some of them. And if we had to look at the future of DevTestOps with generative AI, the future of testing lies in AI driven autonomy. AI will automatically adjust test strategies, predict issues, and ensure resilient systems by continuously learning from the data it's provided, creating a seamless integration between development, testing, and operations. Leverage AI to not just automate testing, but to augment it, empowering faster, smarter, and more reliable quality assurance. So, what would be some of the best practices in an ideal world? I would recommend start small and focus on one or two use cases initially to demonstrate the value of generative AI in testing. Ensure that the data that is used for training and testing these AI models is of high quality and representative of the real world scenarios. Use a test automation framework to incorporate generative AI into the testing process. Develop a strong feedback loop to continuously improve the AI models and testing processes. And lastly, monitor the performance and effectiveness of generative AI regularly to ensure that it is delivering the expected results. Now, you may say that there are tons of generative AI models, LLM models, which we should use and for what. Well, I have listed out some of the top 10 use cases in the field of testing and automation. And I'm sure you can start off with some of these and experiment and see what works best for you. First, dynamic test case generation. Then we have intelligent test data generation, AI enhanced test scripting, automated bug detection, predictive test execution optimization, AI driven performance testing, automated test result analysis, AI in CI, automated document generation, and of course, you can use it for collaboration and communication in real time. If I had to quickly summarize some demos or some use cases, one of them is where this demo is where we used GPT-4o to auto-generate robot framework test cases from user stories in real time, which made test authoring faster and smarter. We could also leverage OpenAI's Operator, which is an AI agent that automates web tasks like ordering food, scheduling appointments, and creating memes. It uses GPT-4o and reinforcement learning to understand and interact with websites, improving the user's productivity. And just to give a little background, since I'm covering both these test case generation flows, the workflow is more around defining the inputs. So you pass in user stories in the form of like, as a user, I want to log in using my email and password. Or you provide a workflow like login greater than dashboard greater than logout. So that's a flow. Or you provide test scenarios like test valid and invalid login credentials. Step two, generate test case templates. So here you can use operator to process inputs and generate test case steps in natural language. Third, convert to robot framework syntax. That's where it would pass the generated steps and format them into robot framework syntax. And last but not the least, save and execute. So you start saving these test cases that it outputted into a robot file, execute using robot CLI and validate those. And that's where you get somewhat an output like this. If we see another demo, this is where we tackled flaky UI locators by integrating Selenium with the robot framework for automatic self-healing when elements change on the fly. Next, in this demo, we enhanced test result validation by combining a domain-specific knowledge base with LLMs using the RAG for smarter, context-aware real-time validations. So there are several use cases. The more you experiment, the more you embrace, the better you can get. Let's look at some statistics for generative AI in 2025 and beyond. By 2025, the AI market hits 310 billion, growing at a 38% CAGR. 70% of enterprises will use AI-based automation for smarter, efficient workflows. By 2026, 50% of enterprises will have AI agents handling end-to-end tasks independently. But it's not about AI replacing humans. 85 million jobs may go, but 97 million new ones will rise, demanding tech skills, creativity, and strategy. The future is about AI amplifying human potential. Our role, embrace it, upskill, and lead the way. So let's look at what the future holds for automation with generative AI. Imagine a testing suite that not only executes test cases, but learns from each run, adapts, and even suggests improvements. This is the future of intelligent testing. This is where you can imagine your testing framework as a living, breathing organism, constantly learning and evolving with every interaction. And trust me, the future of automation is no longer just intelligent, it's becoming agentic. AI isn't just following the way, it's already leading the way. So, with that, let me quickly sum up with some key takeaways. We're standing at the cusp of an era where AI doesn't just assist us, it acts autonomously, reshaping industries and redefining possibilities. As we enter this agentic AI era, the question isn't whether AI will lead the way, it's how we'll choose to harness its potential. So, are you ready? to embrace this future? If yes, let's make it happen together. Thank you, everyone. I leave you with a quick takeaway. Will AI take my job away? Now, most of us already know the answer to this. AI in testing is the future, but not without us. The road to fully autonomous testing is being paved, but we are not there yet. AI is our co pilot, our advanced cruise control, not a complete replacement for human expertise. So the next time someone says AI will replace testers, remind them of the Tesla's roadblock. Because when the unexpected happens, only a human can truly navigate the way forward. And that's where my quote comes in. The best automation isn't about replacing testers, it's about amplifying their intelligence. Embrace, explore, experiment, and innovate. Because the future of testing is written by those who are willing to redefine it. Thank you once again.